In this video, I'm going to create a group inclusion report and also a group of stocks. Now, I've already created the group inclusion report from yesterday's data, but I'm going to go ahead and redo it just to show you how this process works. Now, you have to begin from the designer module, and you want to move over here to this icon. If you put your mouse over it, it will say Group Inclusion Report, and you click on that, and then the first thing you do is you clear any information. Then you move down to the load selection. If you have HGSI installed, you're going to have these files, and they end with a .gsel. Now you can see that my most used files are at the top 50 Group Inclusion Report with groups. Those are industry groups. And the next one is 1B short side Top 50 Group Inclusion Reports with group. I'm going to load the first one just by selecting it. Then I'm going to click open, and what it does is it goes in and pre-selects the smart groups that I have selected. Also, all of the industry groups are selected. Now, I'm not going to go through each one of these, but I just want to show you that there are multiple selections that are going to show up when I run this report. The bulk of these are going to be Woodward and Brown, but as I said in the prior video, there are other people whose work I am using to generate this report. And what I'm looking for are the most instances of the smart groups appearing, and you'll see that as the HTML file is generated. So I'm going to select Make Group from Report, and I'm just going to go ahead and use yesterday's data, and then I will type the number 50 in here because I arbitrarily have generated 50 stocks for multiple years or since I started doing this. So by clicking on OK, what's happening is the smart groups, which appear most often for each one of these stocks, or I should say it differently, the stocks that appear most often within these smart groups are going to come to the top of the list with the most number of smart groups. I don't need to generate an index, but I'll just go ahead and do it, and you can see that as of yesterday, Netflix was at the top of the list with 16 appearances. One of those appearances is the industry group. I only look at stocks that are in industry groups because the reason for that is I want to see what these industry groups are doing. E-commerce discretionary contains Netflix, and Netflix appeared in each of these smart groups. This is Woodward and Brown consistent earnings growth, or what we call box stocks, hitting a 52-week high. Best of Woodward and Brown. Now, the best of Woodward and Brown only contains 10 stocks. The 10 stocks are the stocks which appear most often in all of the Woodward and Brown smart groups. Demand short term. These are growth stocks with a short momentum burst based upon the force indexes. ERG, this is earnings, relative strength, and group strength, has a minimum of 240 combined for a strong earnings per share, relative strength, and a strong group. Here's that growth stocks group that I pointed out. These are leading stocks. These are stocks and groups moving to the upside. That means the consistent earnings growth, the e-commerce discretionary group was moving up or made the top 100 yesterday. Or this stock was in that group that was moving up. Strong EPS rank near a 52-week high, a breakout from a squeeze, a mobile breakout. These are Jeffrey Scott's smart groups. These are Morales and Casher. Code blue, which means that multiple indicators fired, and Pocket Pivot Original also appears along with Pocket Pivot original criteria 5 or 10 days. The original criteria was a 10-day Pocket Pivot, but then they started using 5 and 10 days. Netflix was up yesterday on an announcement that they're going to increase their prices, and it had a big move up for a large stock, and that's why it's appearing at the top of the list. I'm going to look at one more stock, Court. This is a stock which has been appearing for a long time. Notice that there are 13, so there are 12 smart groups other than the industry group. Sprinters are stocks that are moving quickly. Consistent earnings growth again, 52-week high. Best of Woodward and Brown, and so on down the list. So you can get a lot of information here just by looking at the HTML output. This one right here, shadow stocks, $1 to $30. These are stocks that are showing earnings growth, and I call them shadow stocks because if they're in this price range, $1 to $30, they're probably not being noticed all that much by institutions. At least that was my thought when I put this together. This is going to end this video. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this group that I created. I'll look at that in the next video.